Welcome to the Be Better broadcast, where we bring you tips and strategies and techniques to help you to live an extraordinary life, to help you achieve self-mastery, to help you on your own pathway to purpose. And we love to bring you a bunch of experts in all different fields of life, from fitness to finances to your physical body and your emotions and everything in between. And specifically that there's one thing that's made a profound impact on my life, at least if you've been following this podcast and channel for a long time. And that is the law of attraction. The idea that your thoughts become things. The idea that you are a magnet and you attract like to you, whether that like is empowering emotions or whether that like is disempowering emotions. And you understand the power that your thoughts and your emotions have on your life, because at one point in my life, I had no idea, right? And once I discovered and started to become consciously aware of how I felt in my emotions, everything changed for me. And today we're going to be talking to Zehra Mahoon, who is an expert in everything that has to do with the law of attraction. She's got a beautiful platform on YouTube where she's got many videos she uploads very frequently on the power of the law of attraction, how it's helped her transform her own life. And we're going to be talking with her in just a minute. But the one ask that we have for you throughout this episode is, when you hear something that you will take away and use in your own life, share this show with one person who could also use that tip. We don't do ads, we don't do sponsors, none of that. Just share the show with one person who could use this advice, but only if it helped you. So without further ado, let's talk to our expert, Zehra Mahoon. And for those who don't know Zehra, she is a master mindset and law of attraction coach and manifesting expert. She has authored 12 books. I repeat, 12 books on these subjects. After transforming her self-worth in 2006, she went from being in massive debt to owning multiple properties and creating a thriving business while healing her relationships. Zehra's courses and programs help individuals to identify the blockages that are keeping them from achieving success, which we're going to dive into. She helps them to change their self-talk and develop new thinking habits that open up a world of new possibility. Zehra believes that all things are possible, and that you can create a better future once you start understanding how to use these basic law of attraction concepts. She's committed to making it easy for you to understand and apply the law of attraction. So Zehra, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about our discussion today.
I am excited too. And I'm going to assume for the listeners that you have an idea of what the law of attraction is. You've maybe heard of Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. You might have tried to apply these concepts. But Zehra, for those who, when you talk to people and you mention what you do and they say to you, what's the law of attraction? How does that really work? What do you tell people who ask you that?
A lot of people ask me that. And to be very frank with you, the first time I heard the term law of attraction, I was like, okay, this has something to do with romance. But it can have something to do with romance, but that's not the only thing it has to do with. Basically, what the concept is that you attract what you think about, whether you like it or not. If you're thinking about it, you are attracting it. And if you continue to call it to you, it will manifest and become a reality.
Yes. And the thing about that I feel that me, especially at the time, like when I first heard of it, I was like, this is kind of cheesy, because I
Yeah.
watched the documentary, The Secret,
Yes.
and it was created in a way to make it very accessible and understandable to
Yeah.
those who are new to the concept. And
Right.
I thought to myself, like, yeah, I don't really know if this is for me. But the thing is, this law is active whether you're believing in it or
Or not.
not. So
That's
it's a
right.
matter of, will you follow along and will you use it to your advantage, or will you let it run over you, right? So I'm curious, Zehra, what is the personal story of how you've used this to make positive transformations in your own life?
I'm going to share with you something that I don't think I've shared very often. And that is, I used to think when first found law of attraction, I used to think that I was extremely positive thinking. And for the most part, when I come across people who are new to law of attraction, they think that they are positive thinking. And they think that because they are positive wanting. What I
Mm.
discovered about myself, as well as what I know about others, is that positive thinking and positive wanting are two different things. I want something and I keep wanting it. I feel like I'm positive about it because I still want it and I'm working towards it, but that's not the same as thinking positively about it.
Mm.
So, unless you start understanding the difference between what is a positive thought and what is a negative thought, you find it harder to make progress. Once you get that difference, law of attraction is easy and simple, and you can just create magic in your life with it.
So how do you figure out the difference between positive and negative thoughts? Because that's not something that we're really ever taught, right?
That's correct. So, a simple example is a mother, let's say, saying to a child who is running, "Watch out, you could fall." Now, she is positive wanting, but that's not a positive thought.
Mm.
That's actually a negative thought because her focus is on the fact that the child might fall. So she is actually activating the fall.
Wow.
And when she puts that idea into the child, now the child is also activating a fall. And then the child will fall, and the mother will say, "See, I told you so," not realizing that she made the fall happen.
Just with language. It's like when people say like I want to stop smoking or I want to lose weight, right? And they put into existence like this negative version of
Yes,
what it is that they really want. It's like they speak the opposite into existence without even realizing that they're doing that.
precisely. Now, on the surface, it seems if I want to lose weight, that's a very good thing, right? I want to be healthy, is the other way of saying it.
Mm.
That's the positive way of saying it. I want to be healthy. I want to be my perfect weight. Instead of saying I want to lose weight, which signifies that there's something wrong and you're trying to correct it. Then you're
Yes.
focused on the wrong.
This is something that's not really talked about in the goal setting world a lot. Like some people do talk about it a little bit, like, you should write it as if you already have it. You should speak it as if it was in the positive. Are you a believer when it comes to, because I like how we started off essentially with what it is you want, because in order for you to truly activate this law in your favor, you have to have an idea of what it is you want. And you ask a lot of people, what do you want? A lot of people have no idea what they want. They haven't yet chosen what it is they want to move towards. What are your thoughts when it comes to writing your goals as if it already happened? Is that a necessary prerequisite to activate this law?
Oh my God. Uh, this question is very near and dear to my heart. and, and that is because I have spent a lifetime in sales and marketing and, running my own business as well as working for very large corporations. And I've discovered that if you are in a place of hope, then being specific about your goal is a very good thing because the hope energizes you towards the goal.
Mm,
But if you are in a place of um, fear or scarcity, that same goal scares the hell out of you. And that is not conducive to achieving the goal.
that is so true. So
So
be
you
more specific with what you want.
only if you're in a place of hope. So
Mm.
get yourself to a place of hope first. Otherwise, every time you look at the goal, you're going to see the buts in it instead of seeing the I can in it.
How does one know if they're in that place of hope?
You feel good. You feel like this is a done deal. I am doing this no matter what. So, our emotional gut feel, what we generally call gut feel, is a visceral feeling in your body, because your body is a tool, and your emotional guidance system is a tool that tells you whether you're thinking negatively or positively.
So
You feel
follow your
bad.
gut feelings.
Yeah, you feel good about something, you want to go do it. You feel bad about it, you're like dragging your feet. It's like, oh no, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. You have to change that dialogue, right? Because that dialogue is literally pulling you apart.
Yeah.
So the way you change that dialogue, that's negative thinking. And this is why everybody talks about positive thought. You've got to be positive before you go after the goal. So don't take any action if you're in a negative place, because the first action you need to take is in your head. You need to feel good about your goal, then go after the goal. Don't go after the goal when you're feeling miserable about it.
Let me
I
ask
mean,
you a
I
question, like
sure.
a personal
Yes.
like example of this. So I'm working with an individual who they have a sales goal that they want to achieve. And they had a really great streak at the beginning of this year towards this sales goal. And they
Uh-huh.
understand the law of attraction. They're totally
Yeah.
like the one thing I respect many things about this person, but especially the fact that when you give them a task or something to do, they go after it and they try it and they put it into action. But this individual has been having a month or two of no sales.
Mhm.
He's doing the activity, but every
Mhm.
time I talk with him, one of the first things he says is things just aren't working out for me. He
Mhm.
literally wrote to me this morning. He's like, I feel that I'm regressing. I feel like I'm going backwards, but I'm doing the actions, I'm doing the things. He's not in a place of feeling good, yet he's taking action. And as a result, he's not getting positive results. So, what would you recommend to this individual to help them to feel good so that they can continue taking action? Are you still with us, Sarah? Looks like we lost her temporarily. We'll give her a minute to hop back on here. It makes me think specifically of me when I started practicing the law of attraction principles. Like, I didn't feel good about myself. I wasn't really sure of what was next for me, but I knew that the first thing that I had to focus on was my health. Because when I thought about what I wasn't feeling good about, my health was the main reason that I wasn't feeling great. And I started to take steps towards improving in that area. And once I started to take steps and improve in that area, it helped me to feel better about my health. So looks like Zara popped back in here.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Welcome back. I'm glad you made it back.
Thank
I
you.
saw like your laptop close or something.
Well, it just shut down, and I was like, okay, I need a different laptop. Thankfully, I have three, so it
Oh,
wasn't a
good.
problem.
Good to be over prepared. I love that. That's a big part of it. So the question, did you happen to hear the
Yes,
question that I
I
asked?
did. I did.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll
Um,
kick it off from there.
it reminds me of myself a number of years ago. So when I say that my life was turned around way back in 2006, 2007, that is one of the things that happened to me. I went through a huge everything shook up. My son was taken away from me as part of um, my quarreling with my ex. And so I was going through a bad patch, and kind of everything was, it's like, literally like the earth disappears from under your feet is kind of the situation that happened to me. But I can relate to this person because that is exactly what happened to me. I achieved massive success and then nothing.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you what is we we have this human tendency to start saying to ourselves, I did so well, can I do it again?
Oh.
Can I compete with myself? And the desire always is to do better than what you had done before. But you start, that's negative thinking. When you ask this question, can I keep doing this? Oh my God, like that success, that euphoric success. Oh my God, I did it. I hit jackpot. Oh no, can I do this again?
Because
Is
then
this
doubt starts to come in your mind.
exactly? Can I keep this up? I was lucky. And sometimes you'll say things like, oh, that was just luck. It wasn't luck. It was law of attraction. You were positive. You were in a place of hope. So you broke
Mm.
through all your barriers. You went and did what you needed to do. And now you're doubting that you can keep it up. And that doubt in itself is going to push that thing that you want away from you, because doubt is negative.
Yeah, very. It's a very, very disempowering feeling. So, if you were working with this individual and they had a streak of time where they were using the law of attraction in a great way, and they continued to use it, but now they're getting the opposite result because of that emotion of doubt, what would you recommend to that individual as like a game plan to help them to get back to that place that they were before, or a different place that might even be better than they ever could have expected?
It is about convincing their conscious mind that the success that they've achieved is replicable. And so you talk about, um, I did it once, I can do it again. Now I have more experience. It's self talk. Your self talk beats you down, your self talk builds you up. So instead of saying, oh my God, I did this, can I do it again? Why not say, I did this, therefore I now can do it again because now I know how it's done,
Yes.
right? And then to explain to yourself that my self talk really is the reason why things happen the way they do. And I understand that now. It was my hope that propelled me towards success, and it is my doubt that is keeping me away from it. All I have to do is get back to a place of hope.
So, what would you recommend that, like, a part of what I believe, like when we find ourselves getting off the track, when we find ourselves slinking away from what we once were doing, I find that a lot of the times our rituals have changed, and the things that we were doing before we're no longer doing now, and we're asking, well, why isn't this working? Why is this happening? I'm not where I want to be. And then that doubt starts to creep in because our rituals and our routines have fallen off the wayside. We stopped doing what helped us generate the result in the first place. Like, how important are these rituals and routines in life for you, as an example, and how do you use them?
They're not important at all,
Wow.
because it's not about the ritual, it's about the thought that precedes the ritual. So if you do a ritual thinking it will work, it will work. And if you think that a ritual is not going to work, it will not work. My mother, I actually grew up in a atmosphere at home where my mother was big time into rituals. And as a child, I used to wonder, why does she even bother? Because they don't seem to work. They don't seem to work most of the time. So why does she even bother with doing these things? And later I discovered that the ritual is a program that you've given yourself. You've said to your, you've created a belief that says, if I do X, Y, and Z, it should result in this.
Yeah.
But a ritual is not math. Two and two always add up to four in mathematics. But in a ritual, there are other factors that are not quantifiable in that manner, because you can do the action, which is the 2 plus 2,
Mm-hmm.
but it does not add up to 4 because there's another factor that you're not quantifying, and that factor is your feeling. So I'm doing my 100 calls, and as a result of my 100 calls, I should really have narrowed down a list of 10 or 15 juicy prospects. But I can have a good day or a bad day depending on where I am emotionally. I just
Mm,
had a fight with my boyfriend, my girlfriend. My mother called, and now I'm down in the dumps because she's asking me how I'm doing, and I really don't want to talk about it.
hmm.
So today I'm going to make the 100 calls, but I'm not going to get even one juicy prospect. But the next day I wake up, I'm pumped. I went for a run. I listened to some really good music. My mother has not called. I have not had a fight. I am pumped and I'm ready to go. I am bringing that energy to the 100 calls. Now I walk away with more than 15. And I'm like, this was a really good day. It was a good day because it started out being a good day.
Mm.
If you take action from a place of not feeling good, the same action will not give you the results that you want. And this is where that's the emotion. So all you have to do is quantify your emotion, you see. If you ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is best, where I am today. Am I a 10? Am I a 7? Am I a 4? And if you add that to the equation of 2 plus 2, now you have the full equation.
That's amazing. Oh my God, I love all this. I love
Yeah.
all this.
So if you're not above a 6, don't bother picking up the phone. If you're not above a 6, first get yourself up to a 6 and then take action. What that means is, I'm not going to think about that fight I had. I'm not going to think about my mother just now. I am going to do those things that help me to feel good. What is that? I love listening to really loud music, fast moving energy music, because when I listen to fast moving music, that fast moving energy moves through me, through my
Mm,
body. It gets my energy going. Maybe I'm going to go for a run, or I'm going to do a couple of stretches, because that gets the energy moving. You've got to get energy moving. Hope is a very fast moving energy.
yes. So you have to have an idea, and you have to know what it is that makes you to feel good. Like, do you have a thing or two things, or like, what do you personally resort to, Zara, that you found works best to help you to feel good?
I resort to nature. So my first go to is nature. Just looking outside at the sun, the sky, the trees, animals, flowers, makes me feel good. And then the things that I shared, going for a run, stretching, listening to music, eating really yummy things. Whatever it is, you've got. And the thing is, in the meantime, there's something also that I do in my head. So it's not just about the action that I take, it's about what am I doing in my head while I'm doing the action that actually propels me towards hope. That's the missing ingredient that doesn't get talked about. People say, oh, do this. That's the action part. It's the mental part that is more important than the action part, right?
What do those mental strategies look like?
So there are actually two ways to go about it. One is, if something scares you, stop thinking about it, then the fear goes away. You feel better. Now you look at the same thing, it doesn't feel as scary,
Stop
right?
thinking
So
about it.
stop thinking about it. That's the number one strategy. So, and then when you come back to it, you can do it. So, there are times when the telephone scares, used to scare the bejesus out of me. Like I just, it was like this horrible, stinky animal, and I didn't want to touch it. And, and then there were times when I was ready to go. I wanted to pick it up and run with it. That's the difference between when you should make the calls and not make the calls, right?
I'm thinking in terms of the person who is at a job and they are like in an office space. Maybe they don't have the ability to go outside and go walk in nature. They don't have the ability to start just playing music, because if they do, their boss will be like, what are you doing? You should be making calls. Like,
Mhm.
is there for the person who doesn't have ready accessibility to go do something to change their emotional state, and when you say to them, just stop thinking about it, I can just already see, if I mention to this person we were talking about, hey, just stop thinking about it, they're going to be like, oh, well, thanks. It's kind of like telling your son not to fall off their bike, right? Stop thinking about it. You're in a sense telling them to think about it.
Well,
So what else can we do mental strategy wise in the moment where we're sitting at that point to change our perspective on what it is that we're doing?
very good question. And the answer to it is you have to prepare a couple of go to thoughts to go to when you are in that situation. Like I call it the fire drill for the mind. Just like in a fire drill, we are preparing for so that we don't panic in the middle of an actual fire. When you have a mental fire, you've got to have a fire drill for your mind. So I have these little clips of thoughts captured from the past that absolutely feel good. It's like my 2-year-old with chocolate all over his face, my daughter eating a banana and it's dripping all over her. And it's, to me, they are the cutest, like they are memories that in 1 second can make me feel better. Not good, better. But better is what you want. Because when you feel better, everything, the way you look at things changes. So that's number one. You have to be able to direct your mind to go to a place that gives you hope. And the other thing is to think about the successes that you've had
Mm,
in the past. So that was the number two strategy, right? So I said there are two things you can do. One is you can get off the subject, think about something else, do something else. Number two is think positively about that. And so I've done it before. There are times when I have been super successful. When I put myself in a certain mood, I'm always successful. And we all know that. Any salesperson knows when you're in that zone,
yeah, you feel it.
you feel it. So the thing that I have to do is find a way to get into the zone and then it'll work out. So maybe I can call a friend that I always enjoy talking to. Maybe I can listen to a podcast that gets me energized and makes me think differently. I remember, Brandon, that when I realized that my thoughts were poisoning my results, I said to myself, I am going to do whatever I need to do to stop thinking my thoughts because my thoughts are hurting me. So I'm going to go
Mm,
borrow someone else's thoughts. And I did that by listening to audiobooks, listening to YouTube, things like that.
yes.
Listen to something positive. You know why people say go to bed and read something positive before you go to bed? Or, in the morning when you wake up, read something positive. That's why, because then you start thinking about that positive stuff that you just read or heard, listened to, and it changes the way you're approaching your day.
Yeah.
And that's all we want. We want to change the way we are approaching our day.
Mm. Oh, so powerful just from the idea of starting your day a specific way. If you find yourself in that mental space, there's physical things you can do, but there's also mental things that you can
Yeah.
do that like you say you should do before you even do the physical thing, right? Or
Yes.
while you're in the action. So I
That's right.
and by the way, I love the whole idea of borrow somebody else's thoughts. I've never heard it said that way, because when I started down this journey myself, I had a physical mentor who literally took me to the gym with them and helped me work on my body, like I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
But what really helped me in the meantime when I wasn't with that person was I would listen to Tony Robbins tapes. I would listen to all these motivational people who were
Exactly.
saying things that I've never heard before.
Exactly.
And I would just listen to them, like as I went to
Yeah.
work, as I was coming home from work. I became known as that guy who, if you knew you were getting in my car, you knew I was going to be playing these tapes. And it was a joke, but I started to ask people, do you mind? And they're like, no, actually, I've kind of gotten in the habit of enjoying these tapes on the way to work, because I used to carpool with some people.
Yeah.
So if you're listening right now, guys, like just think, what's an audiobook you can download from someone that you respect, someone you look up to? And like me, if you don't have those, just type in the way that you want to feel into YouTube and type in motivation, happiness
Yeah.
motivation, or confidence motivation, or look up Zehra's YouTube channel because she's got tons of videos on this exact topic, right? So let's talk about you specifically. So I know you've got your ebook. It's a free ebook that you're offering. It's called Why Me? So why that title, Why Me? What exactly does that mean?
That was a question I used to ask myself. I used to say, I'm as deserving as everyone else. So how come I'm not manifesting the things that I want? Why me? Why are these things happening to me? I want good things to happen to myself. And that's where the tagline goes, why do bad things happen to good people? Because we are good people. We're just not, we don't know the difference between negative and positive thought. We actually have huge desire for good things to happen. We just don't know how to think about those good things.
Wow.
So the huge desire actually works against you. When you have huge desire and you don't know how to think positively, that is when you struggle the most.
It's so true.
Because the huge desire means that you're having huge negative thoughts that are creating huge blockages on your path. So, huge desire ends up hurting you. And this is why a lot of times I do teach people to get off the subject, like I was talking about just now, because the fact that they focus on a huge desire actually prevents them from getting to that desire because they have not learned how to think about it.
Oh, wow. And your ebook talks about specifically how to think about what it is you want.
It does. It also talks about where people go wrong. What is the problem? It talks about how we store these problems in our body because thoughts impact your body immediately. Your body is a mirror of what you've got going on in your head.
Yes.
So it's just that book was written when I had my aha moment. Oh my God, this is what I'm doing, and this is why my life is the way it is. I captured that and I started using it to help other people. And so that's what that book is all about. If you can just get that one thing from that book is what is a negative thought, what is a positive thought, and what do I need to do to change it? What's the bridge?
Yeah.
Then law of attraction becomes easy. Law of attraction really is easy. It is simple and easy. And we just overcomplicate it because our mind is so used to complication
Mm,
that when you present a simple option, it's like, it can't be that easy.
yeah,
Surely,
exactly.
surely it can't be that easy to build a wealth. It can't be that easy, but it is. You just have to peel away the layers.
Now, I know that you also have a 40-day law of attraction workbook that is meant to accelerate manifestation. That workbook, who is that for and where can we find it?
It is for everybody who wants to get in, who wants to take law of attraction and make it a lifestyle. Because I'll tell you something, Brandon, law of attraction is not a tool, it is a lifestyle. And the habits, I remember earlier you were saying that, you have these positive habits and then you fall off track with them. The workbook is meant to keep you on track for 40 days. And it's the beginning. It is not, you won't get it done in 40 days, but it gets you off to a good start. You can find the workbook on Amazon, and I have a Facebook group that supports people who are doing the workbook. So there is a free course on law of attraction inside the Facebook group, and there are literally thousands of videos on all sorts of different subjects.
Wow. Yeah, talk about building a system to help people. That's incredible what you've created for yourself and for everyone listening. Why Me? Zera's free ebook is available at the link in the description. I'll have a link for you so you can check it out. And I'll also include a link to the 40-day law of attraction workbook so you can take all these principles we've talked about and begin applying them in your life. Now, at this chapter in your life, Zehra, with everything that you're building, what is the positive impact that you want to make on the world right now?
I think that everything is a give and take of energy, and sales big time is a transference of energy. And that's what I want. I want to make law of attraction really simple for people. And that's why I draw diagrams, and use analogies and all sorts of stories to make it easy for people to understand. But that's what I want. I want now, I'm in a place where there isn't any, I am so confident. I know this stuff that I want to bring it to everyone. And I want to keep writing more books. So
You have so many already that are reaching so many people. So I look forward to seeing the new ones that you write and everything else that you create. But I'm just impressed with everything you've created. And I thank you because I've been reading about the law of attraction for years, but I love hearing different perspectives on it with different ways of saying things, because a lot of the things that you said really resonated with me today too, Zehra. So thank you very much for your time and for all your wisdom and advice.
thank you for having me. I had fun.
Another awesome conversation. This one with Zehra Mahoon. Again, check out Why Me, her free ebook. Link is in the description, as well as her 40-day Law of Attraction workbook. We talked about everything from knowing what it is you want, thinking about it in a specific way. It's one thing to know what you want. It's another thing to think about it and the way that will bring this thing that you want into your life so that you can literally attract it. We talked about how the law of attraction is easy. We tend to think it's too simple. Therefore, we don't even implement things the right way in order to fully activate it in our favor. And we talked about so many other things. So rewind this, go watch it through again. If you took away one piece of value from this discussion with Zehra, then share this episode with one friend who could use this same advice in their own life for what it is they're looking to achieve. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.